Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Horror Debate. I'm Michael Mandy, and with me is Rowdy Jeff.
Yes, I am. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing great, Jeff. How are you?
This week, baby.
This week,
Wrong Turn 1.
Yeah, not the sequel.
Now, we don't usually do things backwards. Okay?
Well, I did see this film first. We just didn't
do the freaking debate, right? So we got to
to
catch up with ourselves now because we feel stupid putting Wrong Turn 2 up and not doing Wrong Turn 1, right? So we're going to go ahead and give it its due.
So we came back and said, let's watch Wrong Turn all over again.
Directed by Rob Schmidt. I'm sure I said that right.
I'm glad you said it right.
Rob Schmidt from 2003, starring Elijah Dushku.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And she's quite a little actress, isn't she, Mike?
I love the little segment they had on the DVD called Eliza, Babe in the Woods.
Babe in the Woods.
That's very funny.
Yeah, she's kind of cute, actually.
She was also in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Oh, you would know that.
I would.
You would know that.
I would.
See, I got to go back and watch all these flicks, man. I spend too much time in the horror genre. I got to go back and watch my Jay and Silent Bob.
I watch way too many movies.
Anyway.
So, Wrong Turn. What's the plot, Jeff?
Oh, there's this accident, right? And these two cars, get all up in each other, and the teenagers spill out onto the pavement, and these defects come out and start hacking them up. I mean, let's get right down to it, right? I mean, this is what it is.
Cannibalistic mountain men, grossly disfigured through generations of inbreeding.
Oh, you're reading that crap, Mike.
I am, because I couldn't make it up any better.
Mine is much better than that.
That's so accurate.
They have an accident. They have a little sex. They drink a little bit. They go walking. They get killed.
These are the mountain men or the teenagers?
The mountain men are having some sex, I can tell you that.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. Some of that mountainous sex. Anyway.
Okay, basically, if you've seen The Hills Have Eyes, you've seen this movie.
Well, and this is what bothers me. This movie was I don't want to say a ripoff, okay, because I hate that word, And even though it might be true, okay, I don't like it. It doesn't give Rob Schmidt the proper due, okay?
Well, he just directed it. It was written by Alan B. McElroy. I mean, this is the kind of film where the writer should have more power.
Well, it felt too much like things we had already seen. I think that's the nicest way to put it.
And all the people in it, of course, they were all six, people that looked like they belonged on Dawson's Creek or something.
I don't want to wait.
And
every time you say that, I got to sing that song. Shut up about Dawson's Creek.
Well,
unless you're going to talk about Katie. Katie's cute. You're going to talk about Katie, I'll talk all day long.
Basically, out of all the teenagers, Dushku was Eliza was the only one who really stood out. Her name, Eliza, Eliza.
Oh, you said Dushku.
That's her name, too?
Yeah, okay, but you don't call her. She's not a football player. You don't go, hey, Dushku, come over here. No, Eliza Dushku.
Well, because earlier I said Elisha, and I went,
there's
a Z in there. There's a Z in there.
Okay. All right, so.
But anyways, she's the only one that really stood out of all of them. Everyone else was just here and there.
I completely 100% agree.
Very bland.
You could tell who the star was. You could tell who the movie was centered around.
Yeah.
Too much like The Hills Have Eyes. Too much like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Too much that was kind of goofy in certain parts. Yeah. I thought that, okay. Now, there's two separate things with me, okay? There's the movie, and then there's the entertainment value, okay? And this is one movie where I could split that right down the middle, okay? The movie was okay. I'm not going to totally bomb it. I thought it had certain merits to it. It had some decent gore. It had decent chase scenes. Elijah's easy to look at, right?
Unfortunately, though, she kept her shirt on.
Well, we'll fix that later. But anyway, they got programs you can go in and change the head on the. Never mind. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, so what ends up happening in this movie is that you watch it and you feel, in my opinion, you felt a little bit unfulfilled at the end.
Yeah, been there, done that.
Yeah, it's kind of like if I would have spent like $10 to go see that in the theater, I would have been probably a little pissed.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so, but on the flip side of that, I'm sitting there watching it on DVD, and I'm not bored. I'm not completely out of my mind with it. It does have some entertainment value. Like I said, mutant, scary, deformed mothers chasing hot chicks in the woods. Not necessarily a bad thing.
No, I was going to say, gee, it sounds like a winner to me.
Yeah, not necessarily a bad thing. Kind of takes up two things that we dig, right? So what I'm telling y'all is, Wrong Turn to me was not a complete disaster. And some people said it was, and I disagree with that.
Yeah, to me, it was definitely one of those paint by numbers. You know.
It was formulaic from the beginning, man.
And Rob Schmidt and they filmed it fine. I mean,
admit it, you like the redhead. Admit it, you like the redhead.
And
come on, Mike.
No, redheads don't do it for me.
She would have. If you would have asked, she would have.
But anyways,
go ahead.
But anyways, the director it wasn't anything spectacular, but it wasn't anything failing either.
Right,
I mean, it was just okay.
Right.
Yeah. Been there, done that.
I said this in another review just recently that when you start to feel blah about something, then the movie is a complete. It's not a complete failure, but what I'm trying to say is if it doesn't get any emotions riled up in you, it's got a major problem from the beginning.
The only person you cared about was Eliza Dushku.
I didn't want her to die.
That's right.
Oh my God, she dies. I'm turning it off.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, I think that this movie is deserving of 2 stars for the simple fact that, like I said, I wasn't completely bored. Kind of dug the story. Definitely dug Eliza.
But you know what? This is one of the few cases where this movie got a theatrical release.
Yeah.
The sequel, Wrong Turn 2, went straight to video, and I actually liked Wrong Turn 2 better. It had better gore, and Henry Rollins was a really cool dude to look at. I enjoyed Wrong Turn 2 better than this one.
I disagree with you.
Yeah?
I disagree with you. I actually enjoyed the first one more than I did the second one.
Really?
Second one had the greatest 5 minutes in the history of film, right?
On the first,
the very
yeah,
beginning.
the very beginning.
The first 5 minutes, when
that happened, you just stood up and went, "Oh yeah."
I was speechless, But after that, like we said, it kind of felt dull.
Yeah, but Henry Rollins kept it rolling.
Henry Rollins keeps everything rolling.
If not, he'll come and kick your
Yeah,
ass.
exactly. He'll kick your ass if you don't keep it rolling, right? I mean, I'm sure the director was freaking scared of this dude on the set, right? I mean, I dig Henry. I do. Even his spoken word stuff, I dig.
I don't know.
I'm kissing your butt, Henry. Just trust me on that one, okay? But I dig you. You're the goods.
Yeah, these are both close, but I just think it's funny. This one got a theatrical release, and the second one did not. The second one should have. If this one did, that one should have.
No, let me be serious for a minute. Let me be serious for a minute. There is no way that second movie would have survived in the theater. There's no way. It would have embarrassed itself.
Did this one?
I'm sure this one made some money. We'll look it up. I'm sure this one made some money. The second one, in my opinion, people would have left the theater kind of laughing at it.
Really?
Yeah. The whole Stone Cold Condemned theme, been done. It's been done. The game show outside with the naked chicks on the beach. I don't know. It didn't do it for me, Mike. The characters weren't compelling. Henry Rollins was really the only compelling character besides Catherine Caldwell, who lasted 5 minutes. Yeah. Right? So, I mean, let's be realistic here, okay?
Like I said, these
Wrong Turn 1 kept me going, okay? And I honestly thought that, even though it was ripping off, okay, I hate that word, but I'm going to use it anyway. Even though it was kind of ripping off certain elements of other movies, the packaging it put together didn't completely suck on its own. Whereas I thought the second movie was kind of like I said, you got you all amped up, and you talk about dynamics in reverse. It got you all amped up.
I think that's probably why you didn't like Wrong Turn 2 as much, because it set the bar so high at the beginning that the rest of the movie didn't live up to that.
No doubt.
You took a point away from it.
No doubt. I mean, that movie started so strong, and I was like, wow, man, this is going to rock, and I was high-fiving people that weren't even there. I was having a good time, right? And then it didn't go anywhere. Yeah. In my opinion, it just tapered off. And what you gonna do? I mean, but the first movie I didn't feel did that. I honestly felt it was fairly steady throughout the 90 minutes or whatever it was. And credit goes to the director and the writer for being able to figure out ways to keep you interested for that long.
On this movie?
On Wrong Turn 1.
Okay, Rob Schmidt.
Yeah.
Speaking of Rob Schmidt, here it is. I'm looking up on
his bio. What are you, a baseball player?
No, that was Mike.
That was Mike Schmidt.
Mike Schmidt, third baseman for the Philadelphia Phillies.
That's right. See, I'm not a baseball guy, Mike. I mean, if he was a football player, I'd know him, okay?
But anyways, here it is. Rob Schmidt, the only horror... he only had done 3 things before this, and none of them were horror films. He does Wrong Turn, and then 3 years later, he does a Masters of Horror episode. And it's like, wait a sec, you only did one scary movie, and it was Wrong Turn.
See,
and now you're a master?
Well, if I was going to be rude, I would have added Baiters to that, and then we would have been all set, right? No, I'm not going to be like that.
By the way, I'm not blaming him. Heck, if I'd have directed a cereal commercial, and they said, hey, we want you to, I'm there, baby.
Absolutely.
You know, so
not his fault at all.
So, Rob, man, no, I'm all for it.
Not his fault at all.
Just, you know,
I find that a little bit weird, but you know what? On the flip side of that, I kind of feel like maybe these guys are scratching a little bit to try to get people to do these Masters of Horror, you know, people that are interested to do them, you know, because how many directors are there out there that's worthy of doing it?
Yeah.
You know, that is still in the genre, that's still active. I mean, I loved John Landis coming back and whooping some butt on the Masters of Horror.
John Carpenter.
I love that. I love Mick Garris. You know, people that are well known in the industry. Unfortunately, there's not enough of those guys to go around anymore. You know, so I think that's kind of why.
That's why they're letting them double up now, like Dario Argento did too.
Yeah, these other guys come in and get a shot, and you know, with varying results, obviously. But it's kind of refreshing to see. I mean, obviously they're not masters of horror. I mean, come on, you know what I'm saying? Who looks at Wrong Turn and goes, "Oh yeah, Rob freaking Schmidt"? Nobody does that. Nobody does that, okay? But
he's gonna record this and put it on his bio. That should be his ringtone.
Yeah, Rob freaking Schmidt. Yeah. Okay. Nobody does that. I can guarantee that. Maybe his girlfriend does. Maybe his mom. Okay, maybe his mom. But beyond that, no. Okay? But
back to the movie.
Because he got a shot at it, I think that shows, and I like that. I like for new blood to be brought in, new ideas to be brought in. You know, to be honest with you, I think it's a good thing.
Okay.
So,
well, like I said, it wasn't a dig.
I'm glad you touched on that.
Yeah, it wasn't a dig at Rob. It was a dig at the Masters of Horror people.
I'm glad you touched on that. The Masters of Horror has been a very uneven ground for me. You know, I love some of it. Some of it I think is brilliant, and then I watch some others and I'm like, oh
what
my God.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm glad the new ideas are going. I'm glad it's surviving. I mean, I've even seen the Masters of Horror come out on Blu-ray. They're coming out with like 3 or 4 episodes at a time on a Blu-ray disc, and I'm like, wow, they're taking this very seriously. I like that. You know,
right, so
you're not going to see the 38 films to croak to on Blu-ray, right? I mean, I haven't seen that.
I hope not.
Right? No. You're seeing Masters of Horror, and I think that's because Showtime and these guys that are behind it, they are taking it real seriously, and I'm digging that. It's been a long time since horror has been taken like real serious.
Wrong Turn 2. What are you giving it, Jeff?
Oh yeah.
Or Wrong Turn 1. I'm so sorry. Wrong Turn 1.
I got to go back. Wait, I got to think about Wrong Turn. They got me all Masters of Horror up.
Think of Elijah.
You know what, Mike?
Elijah Dushku running in the forest, breathing really heavy.
Mike. Don't talk to me like that. Okay, Wrong Turn 1. This movie is worthy of 2 stars.
Yeah.
It's going to be right on that same level as Wrong Turn 2, except I did enjoy this one a little bit more, but it's not a 3-star film by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a low 2 just because it's not a 1-star film. 1-star film means it's starting to smell. But
we were starting to smell watching it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get it right.
But this film was aiming towards it.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. No, I got to say, because, see, here's the thing.
It's a low 2.
Here's the thing. Now I'm going to go off on another freaking rant.
I like the second one better.
Here's the thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, okay? Sequelitis, okay?
Yeah, usually sequels suck.
It's contagious. The studios see something that works, or sort of works, or whatever in Wrong Turn. Oh, we need a Wrong Turn 2. Okay? So we can make some more money, right?
With none of the actors in it.
There's no continuity. I mean, so what if the ogre comes out again and starts whooping on these chicks, right? It's almost like they bust the chicks in. Okay, you're Wrong Turn 2. You're Wrong Turn 3. Come on in.
The Return to the House on Haunted Hill.
Yeah, come on in now. We'll find a sequel for you. Just shut up and stand there. Come on.
See No Evil 2 is around the corner there.
Sequelitis, it's just like in anything. In video games, in movies, sequelitis will kill your industry because you are not thinking up enough. Maybe, you know what? I'll go as far as to say.
Hey, the Friday the 13th movies made a lot of money for Sean S. Cunningham.
Because why? Because they
Voorhees
had the strong lead character. You didn't have a bunch of dumpy mountain folk, as you like to say, running out in the middle of the street hacking people up, right? You had a strong character that the public got behind, identified with eventually, and finally made him a hero.
Yeah.
Right? You see how twisted and sick the public is? Right? They made Jason a hero. They made Mikey a hero. This is why those sequels
Michael
work.
Myers.
As terrible, Mike. As terrible, and you mentioned smelly. As smelly as those Halloween sequels are, after 5, 6, whatever, until they get to H2O, as smelly as those were, with the freaking life jacket sticking out of Michael Myers' back.
Busta Rhymes.
With Busta freaking Rhymes. Oh my God. Listen, as bad as those were, they
That
made
was
money
bad.
for a reason. They made money because those sequels are done right. They're built behind a franchise. They're built behind a character.
People will see the character and don't care how bad the movie sucks.
Who remembered a character from Wrong Turn who wasn't even in Wrong Turn 2? What I was going to say was I would go so far as to say that if Wrong Turn 2 was called something else,
would've done
I
better.
might have dug it better.
Probably.
You know what I mean? Because I'm sitting there, I'm trying to make the connection from Wrong Turn 1. I don't like sequels. This is where Halloween 3 made me throw up, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't like sequels that deal, okay, now we're going to take what worked, we're going to call it the same thing, and we're going to go ahead and give you something completely different that won't freaking work at all. Okay? And not to say Wrong Turn didn't work at all, but you get my point, right? It should have been called something else. Left turn.
Left turn.
3-point turn. It could have been something, right? Wrong Turn. It just didn't fit with Elijah's movie, and that's part of its downfall, in my opinion.
All right. Wrong Turn 1. 2-star film from both.
2-star film, and it's kind of too bad that it had to go the route of picking up all these ideas from these other flicks that we've already seen. If I wanted to watch those flicks, I'd pop those flicks in. Okay, Eliza's but trust me.
But Eliza's worth looking at.
Nobody in Texas Chainsaw Massacre looked as good as Eliza. Okay, now I'll give you that one. Okay, nobody in what was the movie we're talking about? I can't remember.
The Hills Have Eyes.
The Hills Have Eyes. Nobody in that movie looked as good.
Not even The Hills Have Eyes too.
Not even The Hills Have Eyes too. So for that, okay, I can see why they did it.
This movie exists solely to look at her.
Absolutely,
She's the only reason why the movie works.
And and I guess that's not such a bad thing. It earned 2 stars.
Yep. All right. I'm Michael Mandy. He's Rowdy Jeff. We'll talk to you next week at the Horror Debate.